comics. Whether they're as beneficial as real books is irrelevant. I still love them. It's why I want to make them when I'm older. I can't remember a time when I didn't love reading. I actually wrote a book in kindergarten. I could certainly do better now, but a story about traveling to other dimensions through walls is pretty complex for a 5-year-old, if I do say so myself. When I was younger, I'd also write comics. It was too slow to write the words since I hadn't quite figured out how to write yet, so I just drew the pictures. I remember coming back to something I made the day before and having no clue what I was trying to write. The story of comics starts with newspapers. The entertaining comic strips that 5-year-old me stole from my grandpa have existed since the 1930s. In 1934, Max C. Gaines learned that if you take a bunch of those strips, bind them together in a 68-page book and slap a 10-cent price sticker on it, you can get a lot of money. Thus, the comic book was born. In June of 1938, National Allied Publications, a mouthful of a company that would soon rename themselves to DC Comics, created the arguably most famous comic character of all time, Superman. This staple in comic book history and beginning of the comic book golden age is swiftly followed by Batman in 1939's Detective Comics issue 27. 1940 introduces the Flash, among other heroes. 1940 also brings Timely Comics, better known as Marvel, with their superpowered captain bearing the same name. 1941 gives us Captain America, the comic book comfort for World War II's fearful Americans. The same year, Wonder Woman appeared. Oh boy, I'm running out of time. 1950, Peanuts. 1954, Comics Code Authority censors more unnecessary things than the YouTube algorithm. Early 1960s, Justice League. 1961, the god that is Stan Lee creates the Fantastic Four. 1970s, adult comics are a thing now. 1990s, manga is popular now. 2001, Marvel leaves the Comics Code Authority. Did I get everything? Oh yeah, somewhere in the 60s or 70s the Avengers happened. Cool. Now you can't talk about comics without talking about Stan Lee. What? I already did? Well, let's talk about him some more. Stan Lee was an incredibly amazing person. He arguably changed comics forever. In 1942, Stanley Martin Lieber began writing scripts under the name Stan Lee. The 40s and 50s had him creating multiple comic series. The 60s brought the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. In 1972, Stan Lee became the publisher and editorial director. Lee helped create many successful films based on his work, appearing in cameos for nearly every movie. He died on November 12, 2018. I want to be an author like he was. Stan Lee wrote the stories, but I want to draw the pictures too. I will be a cartoonist. According to Zello, a website on careers, cartoonists are visual storytellers. The stories they create can entertain, educate, or advertise. Some cartoonists work with others to create the idea or story. Others may help write the captions. But most develop and draw cartoons by themselves. Basically, cartoonists draw stories and sell them. I always found it weird that schools don't teach more about writing stories. I love to write fiction, but there aren't many chances further than 2nd grade. I hope I'll have free time to work on a story idea I have. It's a bit of a passion.